Hi class, welcome to Mr. Chicardini's class. Today I'll be talking about evolution. I know how hard this concept is, so it'll be on the model later.
What's that? What's evolution, Professor Chicardini?
This period has been failing every test, so pay attention. I've titled those 58% grades. Time for notes 21. Look at these embryos. They look pretty similar, right? Well, guess what? One is a human, one is a bird, one is a reptile, and one is even a fish. Any clues? We'll keep watching to see. So here's Charles Darwin. He wrote a book on the origin of species in 1859. That's over 150 years ago. He developed a theory of evolution by natural selection. This is that organisms change over time as a result of changes in heritable physical or behavioral traits. Darwin had his theory, but in 1831 he set sail on the HMS Beagle and took a trip around the world. He observed different geological formations, fossils, and living organisms. While on the Galapagos Island, Darwin observed that each island had its own form of tortoise, mockingbird, and finch. Some extinct species and their fossils look very similar to living species in those same areas where they became extinct. Here are some finches. Notice the different beaks? These are some of the variations Darwin noticed. The finches had made changes to their genetics in order to survive better depending on the food source available on each island. Here's an example of microevolution, which is a smaller evolutionary change. Darwin observed that the characteristics of many animals and plants vary noticeably among the different Galapagos Islands. Among the tortoises, the shape of the shell corresponds to different habitats. The Hood Island tortoise has a long neck and a shell that is curved and open around the neck and legs, allowing the tortoise to reach limited vegetation on the Hood Island. The tortoise from Isabel Island had a dome-shaped shell and a shorter neck. Vegetation on this island is more abundant and closer to the ground. The tortoise from Pinta Island has a shell that is intermediate between these two forms. You guys look bored, so let me introduce you to my brother Chi-Dog.
Wake up, hello, my name is Professor Chi-Dog. Look here, check this out. These pictures show the wheel evolving from a land animal. Don't believe it? Look at the fossils and how the nostrils move. This is an example of macroevolution because a species completely changes. This is probably the most controversial part of Darwin's theory of evolution. Pictured is how skeletal formations change to evolve into a human. We know cavemen existed in primitive life, so check this out. This is what Darwin theory scientifically proves. But it's not just about humans. We've seen many animals evolve. Here are many more common animals known today and some of the genetic changes they have been through and how they evolved. The giraffe, for example, had a short-necked ancestor. In order to survive, it needed to feed off higher trees. So as time passed, the neck evolved, and this genetic change was passed on to the offspring to provide a longer neck for survival. Let's look at it in another way. Natural selection results in changes in inherited characteristics of a population. These changes increase a species' fitness in its environment. Look at the beluga whale. The dorsal fin was causing them to get hurt with ice caps. So with time, the genetics changed, and now all belugas are missing the typical dorsal fin found on all whales. So back to the beginning of our presentation. All these embryos look almost identical, which is another proof that we are all interrelated as Darwin theorized.